all dear student, all dear friend. Today lecture is start. So today lecture from electric charges and field. This is the second video. This is the second video. You need to electric field and charges. So today topic discussion here. Coulomb's law in vector form in Coulomb's law, vector form Coulomb's law. So this now start. All student, thank you for support my YouTube channel. Now start. So today lecture vector forms Coulomb's law vector form. This is the second video. Chapter is the electric charges and field. Lecture number 2. This is the lecture number 2. Vector forms Coulomb's law. Vector form of the Coulomb's law. So previous lecture number 1 discussion Coulomb force or Coulomb force in electrostatic force, previous lecture discussion. So second lecture discussion vector form of the Coulomb's law. Now start here. I think video is very clear. So now start here. Vector form of Coulomb's law. Previous lecture means lecture number 1 related. Now start here. Previous lecture discussion a special point charge. Point charge means small space point charge. Now start. Suppose consider point charge. Q1. Suppose consider point charge Q2. Suppose consider point charge Q1. Here distance between two charges is mod of r. Distance between two charges Q1 and Q2 charges distance mod of r or magnitude of r. R is the distance. R is the distance mod value of the Q1 and Q2 charge separation. R is the separation. Mod R is the separation. Mod of R separation between Q1 and Q2 charge. mode of our separation between Q1 and Q2 charge. Suppose here this is the force, this is the force, this is the force on, this is the force on 2, this is the force, this is the this is the force on 1 due to 2 charges. This is the force, this is the force on 1 due to 2 charges. This direction. This is the force, this is the force on 2, this is the force on 2 due to 1 charge. This is the force on charges, this is the force on this is the force on charge 2 due to 1 charge along this direction, along this direction. R is the separation between 2 charges. Then we have previous lecture, Coulomb's law in electrostatic, Coulomb's law in electrostatic, Coulomb's law in electrostatic, F equal to K Q1 Q2 mod of R square. This is the force, attractive force or repulsive force. This is the force between 2 charges. Then F vector equal to K Q1 Q2 upon K Q1 Q2 upon R square. K Q1 Q2 upon R square. Here, this is the magnitude. This is the magnitude. Suppose a vector. So suppose a vector. This vector is a magnitude value. This vector is a magnitude value. Always a direction. Always a direction. Direction represent a unit vector. Direction represent a unit vector. Suppose so a vector is 2 terms. Suppose a magnitude term and direction. So direction represent a unit vector. Direction represent a unit vector. Suppose a unit vector a cap. Suppose a unit vector a cap. Suppose a is the vector. Suppose a is vector. A is the mode of a is magnitude or scalar value. Magnitude or scalar value. Or a cap is the unit vector. Unit vector represent a direction. A unit vector represent a direction. So this is the scalar value or magnitude. This force attract. This is the force between 2 charges. So this forces is the scalar value or magnitude value. Scalar value or magnitude value. So always a direction. Always a direction here. Always a direction or unit vector. Always a direction or unit vector. So here this direction is this direction Q1 to Q2 direction. Q1 to suppose a vector A point to B point. Suppose a point A, suppose a point B. So this direction vector is position vector B2, position vector B minus position vector of A or BA vector. Suppose a vector this direction. Suppose a vector this direction. Suppose a vector this direction. This point is A. This point is B. Suppose this direction. This direction. Suppose this direction. Another direction. This point is A. This point is B. This point is A. So final point A vector minus initial point B vector, then AB vector. This concept is implied. So Q1 to Q direction a vector. Q1 to Q direction a vector is here. Q2 to Q direction is a vector. This direction is here. So Q1 to Q2 direction is vector is final vector minus here initial vector. Final vector here final vector minus initial vector. Final vector minus initial position vector. So final vector is R2 vector minus R one vector. So q1 to q1 direction, q1 to q2 direction vector is q1 to q2 direction vector is final vector r1 vector minus r2 vector, r1 vector minus r2 vector. So two vector q1 to q1 direction r2 vector minus r1, and q1 direction q2 direction to q1 direction r1 vector minus r2 vector. Suppose this is the force here, this is the force 1 to 2, this is the force 1, this is the force 1 due to 2. Then this is the magnitude value. So unit vector is 1 to 2, 1 to 2. This is the vector 1 to 2. So unit vector r vector 1 minus r vector 2 cap, r vector 1 minus r vector 2 cap. This is the force 1 due to 2. Then we write here, and f vector 1 to 2, then k q1 q2 mod of r square. This unit vector a unit vector is a cap, then mod of scalar value a, mod of scalar value